All right,
The
Whiskey
issue with
Happens
single barrel was
with
definitely
guest
there.
host Spooky Bourbon. So, guys, what do you think of that barrel project, Seagrass?
It was a very unexpected, but I do like it. It's not in my wheelhouse, but I'll drink it again.
Okay, would you buy a bottle?
Not there yet.
Okay. Would you like to try it with a drop of water while you still have some?
No.
Okay. And
I love the smell of it. The taste is unique. I would definitely not say it's something that I would buy a bottle of, but definitely would not pass up drinking it if I was somewhere. So I still like it. It's just not something I'd probably spend $90 on.
Okay, and if you like it neat, on the rocks, or with a fucking Coke?
Travis, can you believe it's been a year?
No. This is really exciting. It's like raise the roof exciting because it's a year. Like we've been doing this for a year and our collections have grown. Go back and look at our first couple of videos.
A little bit. I did recently watch a video and I had like 2 Wellers up there and like 4 Eagle Rares or something like that. And
yeah.
It has changed a bit. I'm not going to show you, but it is mostly, they're Penelope or being products.
Oh yeah. I took pictures actually of like our backgrounds on one of these and I started dying laughing because I was like, wait a minute, let me see. I still have it. I was like, look at the backgrounds. I was like, we had nothing back there. Like one of the first episodes, like nothing. I have all this.
Things have changed. We've gotten older. We've gotten presumably wiser.
Yeah.
There are roughly about 300 of you that have come along for the journey. Thank you. Some old, some new. Glad you're here.
Yes.
We will continue to keep giving you the same content as we push forward. But I think it is only right that we revisit where we started with you only need 5 bourbons, whiskeys, whatever you want to call it, bourbon whiskeys. We are going to stay in the United States for this. However, we are going to revisit our original list and see where we are today to see if our recommendations and or judgment held true, or maybe it's time for something new. But before we get into that, if you like the content we've been giving you for the last year, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you could like this video, help us in the YouTube algorithm, maybe get us some more subscribers possibly. We'd really enjoy that.
Well, and we've got a lot of big news this year too. So a lot of fun stuff coming this year for you guys. We're not going to give it away yet, but we're going to do some more giveaways. We're going to potentially have a couple barrel picks. There's going to be some fun stuff. So, tune in, join the team. We would love to have you part of Whiskey Happens. So
that is very true. But let's just get into it. First up, our daily drinker. This is what you're going to all the time because you want it. I will go first this round. Things have changed. This time last year, I was telling you about how much I enjoy Elijah Craig as my daily drinker. Travis at the time got us some Cricket t-shirts. Maybe I should put one on for this video, but did not. However, if you've also been watching our content for the past year, you know, I'm a huge fan of Eagle Rare. And how could I not make this my daily drinker? I had a very good year as far as sourcing this, acquiring this, whatever you want to call it. It hangs out in the back of this video all the damn time.
Yep.
I have plenty of these, and it has moved into my daily drinker spot. Very happy about it. If you can find it for $30, enjoy it. I've said before, I've paid upwards of $45 for Eagle Rare. It is harder for me to spend more than that. Maybe 50, 60 if it's a store pick. To this day, I've never gotten an Eagle Rare store pick. I've seen them for crazy prices. If you love it, you love it. Whatever, I'm not secondary shaming you. However, at this point, a year later in my life, Eagle Rare has moved into my daily drinker, but I'm not ready to pay secondary for store pick.
no, sir.
Travis, how about you? What your daily drinker? Did it change? Is it the same? Where are we?
My daily drinker definitely changed. So Michter's was my daily drinker. It was something readily available that you could find. Not saying that I still don't drink on Michter's on a regular basis. I still love Michter's products. But something else has come in the fold for me, and that would be Nulu Toasted. So this is the rye, but any of their toasted series. I am a huge fan of toasted bourbon right now. And I'm actually a fan of a lot of just different bourbons, toasted bourbons, light bourbons. And as you guys have followed along since the very beginning of this, if you have, I have become more of a rye drinker over the last year. It has become something that I've got a lot of bottles in the back, rye, and I really love it. So for me, it's that toasted rye that is phenomenal, but any of the toasted series from Nulu, I think they're great. They're a bit on the high price side. So, it is still a daily drinker though for me, because it's something that if I'm having a day, that's what I'm pulling out. So,
I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. So whenever we were about to film that original content, I remember I just gotten my first, I joined a bourbon group, just gotten my first toasted Nulu.
Yep.
And I can't 100% remember if I opened it at that point or knew how to get more at that point. But I have spent the last year enjoying Nulu's products. So it's not quite my daily drinker. However, Nulu's making some good stuff. Yes, it's MGP juice. However, don't hold that against them.
No, because
definitely up there. I have a peach somewhere back there.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to get more peach hopefully this week.
I just got a maple. I mean, that's the thing. So I won't go on a huge rant about this, but the one thing about MPG juice, which is great, is they can source it somewhere else. It's been aged somewhere else. They grab the barrel, then they can do whatever they want for the next 6 to 8 months or a year with that barrel. And a lot of times they're dumping it into something else. They've done a lot of honey barrels. That's the great thing about MPG juice. I don't like anybody knocking it, because to me, that's great, because it gives an opportunity for a craft distillery to really do some craft barrels with some different things. They've done blueberry, they've done apricot, they've done, as you were saying, peach. So they've done all these different things to give you a little bit of a different flavor profile instead of the straight bourbon, which there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying it's an opportunity to try something different. And it's an opportunity for when you want to get a barrel to do something yourself. So
yeah, I don't disagree. So let's move right along.
Yep.
Travis, what did you use to impress your guests with?
So I used to impress my guests because back then this was one of the best bottles I had on my shelf, and it was a 2021 Yellowstone Special Select. So it was hard to find bottle, very rare. They do it every year, 2020, 2021. That was my impress the guest bottle. I have vastly moved on, but this is an interesting one for impress your guest. So for me, my impress the guest is actually my rye infinity bottle. So that's because this has 20 different ryes in it from my rye collection. So it ranges from every different rye that I've had in it. It is phenomenal. It is coming in at about, I would say, 100 to 15 proof. That's about where it's at. It is great. And actually, I'm almost done with mine here. I'm going to drink a little bit. But before I do that, Garrett, how about yours?
There's some things that are tried and true, and this is one of them. Last year, I was telling you about J Bowman, and it has not changed. J Bowman single barrel coming in 100 proof right here from Virginia is a great drink. I don't really care how you drink it. Neat rocks and a fucking Coke, enjoy it. I think it's a great thing when you can drink local and you're still getting quality distillings.
Yep.
As you know, this is in the cousin neighborhood of Buffalo Trace. So do with that information as you will. it is distilled at Buffalo Trace, sourced from Buffalo Trace, and then it comes here and is triple distilled again, and then aged here in Virginia. All these things were mentioned last year as well.
Yeah.
However, it's the thing. You're coming over for the first time. I'm giving you this first, and we can go from there. It's either up or down, but a fair 100 proof, you're doing all right, and you can make decisions from there.
No, I love that. I think it's great. That's kind of the reason I picked the Infinity Bottle Rye is when people come over and they want something, they always ask, well, what do you recommend? I'm going to start them off with that and say, here, you get to taste some of the most expensive ryes I have mixed with some just normal rye. And it's going to give you a phenomenal drink. And you're going to be able to say, okay, from there, I'm going to be able to go, all right, did you really like it? Was it too strong? And then I can help you kind of figure out where you want to go from there. So similar thing. I love that.
And at a $50 price point, like I'm not showing you something you can't get in your own state. I've seen the Portcast finish go upwards of like $60, $80 in various states, but the John Jay single barrel, $50, $55 tops wherever I've gone. So it's something I can introduce you to and you can acquire yourself, which isn't common if you're going to count as a Buffalo Trace product and or with single barrels, not always available.
All right. Love
so
it.
We're going to move on to the cheap mixer.
Yeah.
Last year.
What you got? Last year, what was it? I can't remember.
Evan Williams White Label.
Oh, that's right.
100 proof. I still enjoy it to this day. There's definitely a bottle somewhere back there and probably on the bottom shelf. However, it did change. I did realize that sometimes when you have a cheap mixer, you don't want it to get lost in the sauce, if you will. So, Old Granddad 114. I think if you know, you know, as the kids say. Bartenders definitely know. There's not a single cocktail I've had thus far when I ask for Old Granddad, or sometimes it's just the rail liquor.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that either. I enjoy it. It's prominent enough to where you know what you're drinking and or you feel like there's bourbon in your beverage. And again, over the past year, I'm a proof hound. So this comes in right around the $20 price point, give or take various states. Just go by VABC here and readily available. Travis, did your cheap mixer change? I believe it was Basil Hayden.
It was Basil Hayden. And so I've always really enjoyed Basil Hayden, but I would say over the last year, there's been a lot of other things that have come out. I love Evan Williams. I love Early Times. Love all those as well. But I went a little bit higher than I normally do. And the only reason I did that was because this bottle to me is a single barrel coming in at 114 proof. So new riff. For mixing, we've got to go a little bit higher in proof. So for me now, the way I like to drink my bourbon, before Basil Hayden is a much lower proof bourbon, it kind of gets lost in the whatever you're mixing it with. It tends to become too sweet depending on what you mix it with. So I started going a little bit higher proof. And because this isn't readily available in Texas and you have to order this most of the time, this has become my mixer of choice because I really like to make old fashions. And when I make an old fashioned, I like to kind of put something in there that you're going to still know you're drinking bourbon. So this has become my new one.
Is that you went from 80 proof to 115?
Yep.
I went from 100 proof to 114.
Yeah.
So you made a huge jump as far as proof goes, which I thought I was the proof hound, but
well, you still are. I mean, you still love a lot more higher proof stuff than I do, but my list, if you go back and look at my list prior and now, the proof range was 80 to about 105. And now it's about 105 to about 115. So I have made a huge jump. And I think that just comes with expanding your palate and trying more things. And that's really what this bourbon whole thing is about, is really expanding and doing things that are slightly different and trying different bourbons and not being afraid to branch out and try things that are outside of the norm.
I definitely agree. So I'm just going to ask you right now, what's your something great? What is that thing where you're just like, this is it?
Yeah. So something great before was E.H. Taylor. Still something great. Love it. Love E.H. Taylor. I've got a bottle up there. I've got bottles up even higher. I've got a bunch of bottles of Asia. Love E.H. Taylor. But like we said, we've expanded. We have done a lot more drinking. We have tried a lot of different more bourbons. Now my something great, and it's only because I got my hands on it finally. That is Midwinter's Night Dram, Act 8. I've had this for less than a month or 2 months, and I have drank this much down, and I would drink this. This would be my daily drinker if I could get plenty of bottles of this. This is one of the best bottles of bourbon I've almost ever had. I mean, outside of Pappy 15, which I've tried, which sounds like a tater. Oh, Pappy. But really, if you've ever had Pappy 15, there's not many bottles that are better than Pappy 15. I hate to say that. But that High West Midwinter's Night Dram it just does it for me. It has everything that I've ever wanted in a bourbon, and I love it. And so that is it. But
It's interesting that you went with a seasonal release for something great, because I actually did the same thing.
Yeah.
I've returned yet again to my roots of Jim Beam, and Booker's 2103. The moment this hit my lips, I knew I needed another bottle. It's a chocolate bomb. There's cherry notes. There's warmth. I forget the proof on this right off. 125 proof, so you know it's meant for me. But it's the one Booker's thus far. Again, I've said this before. I've never had the pigskin. I know people went crazy for that. I just never was fortunate enough to get any. This did it for me. And I went and got another bottle, which you can't see. It was up here. And I saw another bottle on the internet. I'm going to try and go get that soon. I fluctuate between Virginia and DC a lot. So Virginia, about $99. DC, somewhere around $120 or $100 to $120, depending on the store. However, this is definitely the thing where I am saying maybe going forward, something great is just something from that year, where it's not always going to be again and again.
Well, what was yours before?
Oh, I got so excited, I skipped over it.
I know.
It was Maker's Mark 101, which I believe the spiel I gave before, not spiel, but the back history of Maker's Mark for me was that their marketing worked, I guess, as a kid. And I was like, oh, I can afford Maker's Mark. I can afford anything.
Yeah.
Because they really sold quality as part of their thing. And I bought it 100%. I was like, I'll have a Maker's and Coke, or I'll have a Maker's and ginger, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what I was getting, Maker's was coming out of my mouth. Once I was like, done with Beam. Beam's done. But Maker's Mark 101, obviously getting that 101 proof, appealed to me very greatly. I have not a bottle right now, but if I saw an ABC store, I'd pick it up still to this day. There's no hard feelings about it. I just think when you come across a bottle that's like, you have something and you're like, I need to get more of it, and you're just want to pour into it, that definitely falls into the something great category for me.
No, I agree. And it was so great. The taste you gave me, I got a bottle. Like,
Yes,
the thing is it's crazy though. I still wonder, I was drinking it way before it was popular, and I would go get a bottle and it was $60, and now it's $100, and that's retail, $90 some. Retail used to be in the 60s. So it's amazing that it's changed that much. That's the only one disappointment with that bourbon to me, is that Not to say it's not worth $90, but it's amazing that a $30 price point has changed in about 3 or 4 years. And so for me, that's the crazy part. But once again, like you said, not all of them are great. That one is amazing. And that's why you kind of have to try each one that comes out each quarter, because it's 4 a year. You got to try them because they're not all great. We've tried 2, we've tried 3, and we've tried 4. And really both of us agree that 3 is phenomenal. So
Very true. We did not, or I haven't tried one. I remember you saying you did.
Yeah.
But, for me, 2021 of the 3 that I tried, yes, this is it.
Yep.
One,
Yep.
maybe I'll find one. I'll blow my socks off. We'll talk about it next year. Maybe.
Maybe.
All right. So I got to acknowledge this. If you did watch the original video, we all went fucking super potato tot and chose Blanton for our special occasion. And we've grown. But
but it was because we couldn't find it. It was because it was so hard to find.
Yeah.
It was not because it was the best juice out there. It was because we didn't know when we'd get another bottle, because we didn't have this amazing bourbon community when we first started that we've grown into with you guys who follow us, and then TikTok and Instagram and just everyone that we've met when we went to Kentucky, and then all of the different things that you'll see throughout. If you have watched our, videos before about talking to different, store owners and things like that, we didn't have that before. That wasn't a thing. And for us at least. And so we've grown, and that's just a testament of, becoming more knowledgeable about bourbon.
Yeah, I would blanketly say recording your opinions on anything in life and then posting it to the internet, perhaps brave.
Yeah.
Troy, Sean, John, thank you very much for sticking with us as we've grown.
Yes.
Continuing to stick with us as we grow. Really appreciate that. You guys have been around since as far as I can remember. And Troy, we haven't met yet, but John, Sean, I've enjoyed our interactions and meeting you guys in real life, and hope to see more of everyone this year. Period.
Yeah.
Joe, great meeting you in Kentucky. And like Travis said, that's what the bourbon community is about. It's just people interacting with each other, perhaps sometimes helping each other out, and just learning together. But with that gush being said, Travis, what is your current special occasion?
And it'll go to
smell too hard.
Well, and the thing is, it goes into the fact that building a bourbon community. I didn't find this bourbon. A friend of mine found this. You know who you are, Spooky Bourbon. You found this bottle for me. This is something that, building a community and building friends and really finding really good friends. And if you guys know, we did a trip to Kentucky where we met up with Cole and with Spooky and with so many other people that we just, became friends, and we all now are part of a big family. And before I start gushing too much, it is Elijah Craig 18. I haven't even opened it, but it's definitely going to be my special occasion because it's an 18-year aged bourbon. You don't find these that often. Some people do. Some people find them all the time. But here in Texas, this is very allocated, super hard to find. But that is definitely one that will be a special occasion that I'm hoping, Garrett, as soon as you can come down, we can open it and make it a special occasion, the two of us cracking it open together. So that's what special occasion is about. How about you?
Mine is, and it is definitely a tribute to my naivety of moving here, because I definitely had this bottle at the time we recorded our last video, or the first video, but I thought it would be common. I thought it was something that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm getting to the end of it, and I've never gotten another one, and the VABC lottery system is horrible if you guys live here, as far as having a fair shot and or just being able to hunt legitimately. But it is Abraham Bowman. I'm going back to A. Smith Bowman Distillery. Gingerbread. I don't think, I probably had mentioned it at least once before, but now that I've got like this much left and know that I'm definitely not getting this gingerbread number 2, I'm definitely not getting another one. I'm definitely not even sure if they released a gingerbread last fall at all. We got 2 other Bowman products. Actually, we haven't.
Well, how about this?
Recording right now, we're waiting until March 14th to find out if we can get some Bowman products that was released last June. So thank you, VABC.
Well, for everyone that's out there listening to us that who might not know what gingerbread is, what is the draw for gingerbread? Because it has a great story behind it. And Gary tried to send us bottles of this to try, and it actually something happened, and I actually still haven't tried this. And so, but what's so special about it? Because there is a kind of a history of Virginia about this.
So actually, I don't know what mash bill it is, but it is a Bowman distillate, let's say that, aged, and then aged again in gingerbread barrels from Richmond, Virginia, from a local brewery there.
Hardywood Brewery.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So Hardywood works in tandem with Bowman to make this happen. And it is delicious. I enjoyed every sip I've gotten out of this bottle. I've tried to share it with people. Didn't work out. That's why we've never done a review of it on this channel. And I feel like a review of it wouldn't even matter because it's not like a majority of people will get to have this.
No. And I would say if you're in Virginia and you're in Richmond, go to Hardywood Brewery and get their gingerbread beer. It is phenomenal. So I've actually tried to get it here to me because I actually love their beer, the gingerbread beer. I fell in love with it when I was living in Richmond, and I can't get it here in Texas. But that's another thing. I mean, just to say the least, is you've got a really amazing bourbon mixed with a really great beer, and they marry the two. It's hard to describe how great it probably is. I haven't tried it, like I said, so I can only imagine.
Years, 110 proof? Question mark? Yeah, 110 proof, aged 10 years. If they do a number 3, I'm on board. I moved here before the 01 came out, or no, after the 01 came out, wasn't even aware that was a thing. We'll be more vigilant about trying to acquire things from Bowman going forward.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing a lot of great things. Like I have Bowman's gin. It's not just, I don't just drink their bourbon. They're doing a lot of things out there, winning some awards. And if you're in Virginia, get a chance, go for it. If you're not in Virginia, you see it on the shelves. You're not going to see this one on the shelf, but you see the Bowman or Bowman Brothers or the Cask Strength. I wholeheartedly recommend all of them. The Cask Strength has fucked me up several times. It's like one of those things where it's like so mellow and nice that it's like, oh, fuck, it's 3 p.m. and I'm drunk. How did this happen? The bottle's empty. It's on my Uncle Nearest list. Uncle Nearest is the same thing. Love the stuff. I believe when we were in Kentucky, that was the first thing I got a pour of the first liquor store we stopped to on our way to Louisville.
Yes.
But I know at home, drink responsibly. I'll just leave it at that.
There you go. Well, that's our 5. We've, grown over this year. I'm sure by next year we'll have a different 5 or a similar 5. Gary might have Bowman might never come off Gary's list until he's done with that bottle. But like we said, it's been a year. We really appreciate everybody who's followed us from the very beginning. We appreciate everyone who's just joined recently. We hope you guys stay with us. And like we said, there's more to come. And Gary, take us home.
I don't know when this was actually said for the first time, but
just remember, if you like it neat or on the rocks or in a fucking Coke, whiskey happens.
That's right. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.